See, even Emancipator can still keep up with the current metagame. What a regional breakdown. Don't beg 30% of you guys have not smashed the crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so we can get to 105,000. So, breakdown for the side deck regional out of South Carolina from 4/16. I gotta love them Saturday regionals. So, Based came through and took down this regional. Honestly, between Praying Kids, actually the deck's kind of falling out of favor at this point in time, which is very interesting because Praying Kids had such a powerful grasp on the meta, but it took what was, Despia coming out of the cracks to kind of check the meta. So that's definitely the thing. And also Tenyi Sword Soul is gaining a little bit more momentum right now in terms of little shifts in the game. Then we had Quakimaru, Praying Kids, Emancipator, DPE. Couldn't you just literally call this like what it is? It's just Emancipator at this point in time. We also had Drytron do relatively well. We also had Adventure, Praying Kids, DP. So you gotta love those giant like cluster piles of cards that can do good. We had Invoked Dogmatica. That's the first time I've seen Invoked Dogmatica getting the chance to keep up with the metagame, because that deck has suffered so much. But the cool thing with that though is it was a good top 16 contender, so it just took a little bit of work for it to be able to kind of push up and do relatively well here. And then 7th place was Despia, so one Despia deck did creep through the cracks here. And then we had an Adventure Tenyi Sword Soul variant, so basically one 10 Sword Soul synchro package, and then we have the one that plays like the Adventurer full extension combo wombo, laugh at your opponent as you're able to kind of climb up. Anything out of this regional seemed interesting to me. Yeah, the Rogue. The fact that Emancipator climbed up through the rings, but I mean, we did have an Infinitrack Earth Machine box do well, so that doesn't surprise me. All right, we're going to dig on into these top 8 now. All right, so these lists are in no particular order because when the side deck posted them, they didn't even post names for them. So these are just the top 8 deck list out of whichever order. So the first list we have here is the Adventure Tenyi Sword Soul package here. And what's interesting about this is, I don't know, you gotta blame the Red Rose Dragon for just being shenanigans. I've also noticed a lot of these decks have cut back on the Magician Souls package. You guys remember when you saw like the earlier days where you seen like Magician Souls at like 2, and you saw like the Illusion package extended out to the higher numbers? Well, that's not the case. They've pretty much cut back on that. I also see down here that we have the Crossout Detonators in the side, but it's not like a large amount of Crossout Detonators. It's just 2. Which means in terms of whatever might come up, you can very easily adjust, I guess. You can board out droplets, I guess, for these, or you can board in the 3rd droplet. It's actually kind of cool. This deck feels a little bit better designed than I give it credit for. All right, next up here is Sword Soul Tenyi. What? Hello? We are playing the Punk Engine in here. That's kind of cute. Also, there was a side deck card missing from this list that was on the back of the deck list or something that we couldn't find when we were putting this together. But the Punk Engine, I did see in the very, very early days that Punk was seeing a little bit of play in sorts, but it wasn't like a crazy representation or anything. So to see that this was like our turnover for this event is kind of interesting. For anybody that's played the Punk Engine, how does it feel? Because I kind of feel like it would be a little bit clunky, but I mean, hey, Italy also doubles down for you to teleport out Ghost Ogres. So, I mean, you got plenty of uses for these. It's not like they're going to be dead at any point, but that's kind of cool. I guess. All right, next up here, Emancipator. All right, how do you call this Quakimaru DP shenanigans? This is literally Emancipator at its finest. I've also noticed in here that Dragitis become a mainstay in here. The little blue egg for the draw power has just been so much better. So I also see in here that Small World has become very streamlined as well. The fact that you can bridge the gap and basically search whatever you want in this to get your starters is very important. Also, Roxy's giving you the ability to basically full start combo. Very, very nice. Outside of that, only 2 Doki Doki is fine. Honestly, Doki Doki is a very bad card. But being able to see it like through the extension is really good. Nothing else about this. I guess the appointers are a little bit more left field depending on the format here, but I don't see anything else that screams too crazy on the left field. This is just very standard for what I expected. Next up here is Tron Megalith. Alright, so straight off the bat, you gotta remember that this deck wants to be able to do like ritual plays during the opponent's turn for some interactions. Is it cute? Yeah, it's something. That's for sure. It doesn't come up all that often, but it's definitely something. Also, the fact that this build is 50 cards. Most of the builds I've seen have tried to really, slim it down so that they don't see like dead draws per se. But overall, I mean, this is within the expectations I really expected for this. Talons is also kind of starting to see a little bit more play right now in like really weird scenarios. Especially like now that Mirror Jade exists, being able to fire off a Talons and then get like whatever resolution effect that you need. I think this is definitely going to probably start to see a little bit more play going forward here as well. So, kind of keep this in mind. All right, this is something kind of cute. Huh. Outside of that, yeah, there's nothing else too crazy about this list either. Alright, Praying Kids Adventure. Oh boy, so this is what I was talking about. Hold on here. We played 1 Roxy's, 2 Fansies, with triple Dropsies and the triple Lamsies. What are we doing here? I guess that, like, this counts as like just the additional name, and you don't really want to like bulk out too much for this, but we're already playing 48 cards. I have noticed that, yeah, these Praying Kids players are getting really crazy with these ratios. Alright, like, I mean, they're all just, besides like your key starters, like having any additional ones in your hand is just bad because they don't give you like any abilities to extend whatsoever with them. So I guess I understand in that regard that cutting back on these is a little bit better of a play. Yeah, outside of that, this is also pretty standard, minus like that and the inclusion of 1 of that. Alright, next up here, here's our Invoke Deck. Alright, Maximus is still a mainstay in this deck. No matter what happens, I've noticed, Maximus is still doing well. I also see that poor Fleur-de-Lis. First she dies in the story, now she's getting, like, not seeing any play here. Man, the triple Ecclesia, that feels a little bit heavy to me. We're not even playing Punishment in here. Huh. You figured a deck like this would want to maybe give consideration to playing 1 Punishment, or, the consideration for 1 Fleur-de-Lis to play, but, like, we're just doing this to search Maximus, and that kind of sucks, in my opinion. I guess. I understand, like, Maximus is, like, one of the most important pieces of your combo, but, like, having, like, the sub-search, or else the Ecclesias are just dead is, Alright. Everybody's got an interesting hot take on a deck, and I don't know, I kind of want the floor in this. Alright. Next up here is Despia. Okay, so we're playing 44 cards straight off the bat here. Comedy is saying hi to us. We also have Dramaturgia in here so that you can full extend. I still don't like this card in this deck, but that's fine. I also see in here that we have the Edge Imp Chains. Now, with that being said, how crazy good is this build? It feels very standard. I've also noticed that double Ablidium is coming up a lot in these decks, and that actually really surprises me that Ab is getting as much love as he is right now, because any more of these I would consider like super heavy bricks. I also like to see that Gamma is starting to see a little bit more play in here too. Yeah, you can't sync it out and do anything with it, but being able to deploy like 2 monsters to load down that are lights is pretty solid, honestly. Also, making sure that your opponent can't ash this if this is what you have to open, or if you open up like branded opening, you're basically good to go on this. And the last list we have for you guys here is more. This is our adventure package, ladies and gentlemen. So this is where we use a very, very, very small engine of the Sword Soul stuff, and then we kind of capitalize up and do our thing. I see we are playing Vassal in this. Huh. Alright, and then of course your Synchro package, Deskbot 00 shenanigans. Gamma's down here on this side. We have no crossout designators in here, so we're doing some interesting... This list is so weird. All the 1 of weird hand traps in here. Wow, the 1 Ash, the 1 Ghost Bell, the 1 Ogre. But yeah, there's no crossout designators in here. Huh. whoever made this was pure genius, or just crazy. Huh. So guys, what do you think about these lists out of the South Carolina regional? Please leave a comment about too much you guys say. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button, so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later on the day. Some more cool awesome content. Peace out, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.